This is going to be a video on email security and basic cybersecurity tips. What we're going to cover is the different types of email attacks that you may have seen or possibly may see in the future, how to identify if a email is suspicious, like what little things you can look for, and also some basic tips. But the first thing we're going to talk about here is the cost of a cybersecurity attack. On average, business on an average business, the cost of a cybersecurity attack is roughly $3.4 million. By the end of 2025, studies say the annual cost of cybercrime worldwide will be estimated to be over $10 trillion. So it doesn't matter what field you're in, pretty much any business is at risk, and even yourself at home are at risk of being attacked by cyber criminals. The types of email attacks that exist. There's a ton, but these are the main ones. So we've got phishing, spear phishing, whaling, extortion, malware, and ransomware. And we'll break these down into each one and just the type of attacks they are. First up, we have phishing attacks. They're the type of attack often used to steal user data, including login credentials and credit card numbers. So I have a great example here. It is a spoofed Amazon website. Generally, the people who run these are trying to just steal your credentials. You can see up here, it's got two N's in Amazon. So basically, if you tried to log into this, it would give you an error that says, your password is incorrect. Please try again. They'll get you to try a couple passwords just to grab your different passwords that you use. And even some of the advanced ones will actually then log you into Amazon, so you don't even realize they've taken your information. Spear phishing attacks are a type of phishing attack, but they're more directed at a company. So for the definition here, spear phishing is a type of phishing campaign that targets a specific person or group and often will include information known to be of interest to the target, such as current events or financial documents. So like I said, this attack is aimed at whole companies. In this example here, we have an email from a fake IT company. It says, our new enterprise plan has arrived. And to update your account, you just click the link below. Again, they probably have some sort of login screen where you enter your information and they steal your credentials. Then we have whaling attacks, which are really, really highly targeted phishing attacks. And they're generally aimed at senior executives, HR, EDs, higher up VIPs, that sort of thing. And they masquerade as a legitimate email. This example here, probably going to like an HR rep or somebody in payroll, something like that. But they're basically sent enclosed banking instructions for a payment that was supposed to go out last week. I need you to do it today. And generally, that if the person who received this email wasn't paying attention, they could send payroll or payment, something, to the wrong person, and basically that money could be gone. Extortion attacks are a little different. They're the type or the threat of an attack, coupled with a demand for money or some other response in stopping the attack. This example here is a bomb threat. Basically, the guy says, I've hidden a bomb in your building. It can be hidden anywhere. It's small, but it can destroy your whole building. For me not to detonate the bomb, I want $20,000 worth of Bitcoin. There are different types of these or different variants of this going around. Sometimes they'll even say, I have your password, and they'll have a password that you may have used in the past. But that isn't because they've hacked your computer. That's because a website you might have created an account on years ago was breached, and they got a hold of emails and passwords from the website. All these extortion ones like this or similar to this are just scams. They send them out to tons of people hoping somebody will fall for it. Next up, we have malware attacks, which are different from the phishing attacks and the extortion attacks because they actually will install software on your computer. Basically, the definition is any intrusive software developed by cybercriminals to steal data or damage or destroy computers and computer systems. So they can install keyloggers, which basically record every keyboard input you type, like anything you type, they can see. They can basically just pull all your passwords off. They can sit and watch everything you do. And generally, like in this example here, um, they were able to send it through one of these attachments. And basically, it's a .html attachment. And if you click on that, it takes you to a website which may automatically just download the malware in the background, and you won't even notice it. Good antiviruses will grab these generally, but not always. So again, malware attacks are a threat. Ransomware is a type of malware attack, but it's a really, really serious one. Ransomware is a malware that's designed to deny a user or organization access to files on their computer. So what ransomware does, you download it maybe through that weird attachment or downloading something from the wrong website, something like that. But it basically installs on your computer and then begins encrypting all of your files. If you're on a network with a server and domain controller, that sort of thing, it can spread to all the computers on the network. It can encrypt the entire server. And you may have heard in the news about that taking down like hospital systems or local governments and that sort of thing. And basically the only way to fix this would be, restoring from backups. They don't recommend paying, because even if you pay a malicious actor who's done this, they may not give you the decryption key. So ransomware is definitely a serious one. But here are some tips of what to look out for if you see a suspicious email. These are things you should look for if you feel an email is suspicious. And we'll go through each one. I'll show you some examples. The first one is demands urgent action. So this example, Jim Stapleton, or somebody posing as him, basically is asking, hey, I'm stuck in a meeting, but we need to do a wire transfer as soon as possible. They'll try to get that urgent action to make you not think about what you're doing, but like, oh, it's urgent, I got to do this now. They'll try to get you to do it quick before you can really think about it. Generally, if you get something like this, read it a few times and see if it makes sense. And if you have any questions, you can always send it to IT, and we'll take a look and see if it's legitimate or not. Bad grammar and spelling mistakes. That's another one that commonly is a great indicator. For this example here, he says, hello, I am a staff in the college. Doesn't sound right. And then at the end of the email here, do have a good day. A lot of these scam emails, the phishing emails and that, will have grammatical errors, things like that. So it's a really great indicator to look for if you're suspicious. Unfamiliar greeting is another good one, especially, let's say you email your boss a lot. Like my boss, she would never email me, hi there. It'd always be like, hi, Rob. So if you get an email from somebody you email a ton and the greeting is off, another good indicator. Or if it's like a spear phishing, where they're targeting an entire company, generally it won't be like hi there or hi user. It would be like, they would have your name, something there. But unfamiliar greetings, again, a great indicator, something might be up. Inconsistencies with email address and name. This is a great way to tell for sure if an email address or an email is suspicious, or, a phishing email or malware. Basically look at the email address. Like this one is from a John Tunzer. The email address it's sent from is officeceo1@earthlink.net. Most companies, even my email, name at companyname.com.net, whatever. So if you get an email from, let's say your boss was John Tunzer at company.com, and you see this, you can tell that's not actually from him. They're just spoofing the name to make you think it is him. It's a good thing to always check that. Suspicious attachments, and this is the one that really is where a lot of the malware will come through. Always look at the attachment. If you're not expecting something from somebody you don't know, generally don't open it. If you have any questions, again, feel free to send that to IT. Usually they'll operate by sending it with like this HTML, which if you click on it, it'll open up a web page, download the malware. I've also seen zip attachments with the same way. A lot of places don't allow zip attachments anymore because it was so many malicious emails going through with those attachments on there. And even spreadsheets, Excel sheets with macros can do it. So always be suspicious of anything like that. Too good to be true. This is a great one. This example, basically, you've been a long-time customer with Apple, so they're giving you $100 credit at any Apple store. You just have to click on that link and download the attached form, whatever. If it's too good to be true, it's usually not real. Again, this would probably be some sort of phishing attempt, or you download the form and it's malware, like it's got an HTM, probably malware or phishing. Request for credentials. This is one that we're seeing more and more of. Basically, you get an email, the from field looks a little off, and it says, your password has expired. You don't really know who it's coming from. It doesn't sound right. But they'll, again, sense of urgency. Hey, your password is expiring today. The grammatical error there, we recommend. Little indicators like that in it. But you click on that, you try your password, and they're just stealing it. So kind of watch out for be suspicious of requests for credentials. If you're not sure, give us a call, or, forward us the email. We can take a look for you. Abnormal requests are one that we're not seeing as much of, but they're still out there. And basically, it's like, have you got a minute? I need you to complete a task for me discreetly. For this example, we've also seen, hey, everybody's been doing great. I want to get everybody gifts, that sort of thing. And generally, they will, get you to buy like 100 Apple cards or Green Dot cards, something like that. It's, again, out of character, kind of weird. You don't normally go and buy 100 cards and send the codes to somebody. Those are pretty obvious scam indicators there. What can you do to be safe online? And these are some tips. I actually talked with other techs and stuff to get some ideas for this one. We came up with all of these here. The first, use strong passwords. I think we've all been guilty of, I remember this password well, let me use it for everything. Really not secure. And if, you sign up for a website, they get breached a year later, your email address and that password's out. And in theory, somebody can log into all of your accounts, if you use that password across the board. Generally, a good strong password is like 1 to 2 words, add in like 4 to 6 numbers, and then toss in a symbol or two. Don't open strange attachments. Can't emphasize that one enough. That's how most malware and stuff gets delivered, is through attachments. So always be weary of those. Hover over suspicious links. So in your email, if you ever get a link, let's say it's from Amazon, and they're saying your password is expiring, if you hover over the link, it will show you where that link's actually taking you. So the link could say Amazon.com, but if you hover over it, it'll give you some like really odd address, or it doesn't make sense. It's like into like mymoney.net or CA, something like that. You see that, it's definitely a scam. So generally hover over links before you click on them in emails, and it'll save you a lot of headache there. The next one, don't delay computer updates. So Microsoft releases updates pretty much every Tuesday. A lot of them are security updates. So it's really a really good idea to, whenever you see that little, hey, your computer has updates, reboot it. It just makes your computer safer. It makes you safer. And it's also good to reboot your computer. We recommend, when you're done for the day, shut it down. it just keeps your computer running quickly. If you leave it on for a week, you'll eventually start seeing the slowdown. Stuff will stop working correctly. Lock your computer when you're away from your desk. That one is a great one. If you get up to go to lunch or you get up to go to the bathroom, generally, Windows key L will lock your computer and nobody has access to it. Nobody who shouldn't have access to certain things, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot safer to lock your computer whenever you get away up from your desk. The last good tip I recommend is use a password manager. I'm a big believer in KeePass, but basically it lets you store all your passwords in a secure place, and you can use really strong randomly generated passwords, things like that. And it really helps, if you have passwords for like 30 different accounts, you want them all randomly generated for security, you can store them all in the password manager. You have access to them easy, but nobody else has access to it. But yeah, those are the tips of what you can do to be safe online. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.